Hi, everybody, and welcome back. My name's Melissa, and this year I'm sharing 365 tips for frugal living. Today, I am going to do something different that I don't normally do. I'm going to tell you to buy things. If you've been watching for any amount of time, you know that I always say, do not buy. Don't buy this and don't buy that, and just avoid it, and blah, blah, blah. School is upon us. You will be sending your kids off to school either in the next week or in the next, next month or so. They're going to need stuff. You're buying school supplies, school clothes, backpacks. Also, you're just busy. You're buying. So, many people may have relied on the free and reduced hot lunch program. And in many schools, it's universal. So, the school that my kid went to in Florida, the whole district, except for like 4 schools, they had 80,000 kids, had universal free hot lunch and breakfast. But like Sanibel and 3 others did not get the universal free lunch and free breakfast. Because they didn't have a high enough percentage of kids already on free lunch and free breakfast. But at my kid's school, it didn't matter if the parent made $0 a year or $10 million a year. That kid got free school lunch. And for those of you who... so he grew up in Cape Coral. There's a huge difference in income in Cape Coral. You could be living in a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house that's like $500,000, and then walk a block or two and see a $10 million home with the fancy tile driveway. Yes, they tile their driveways in Florida. Expensive landscaping, multi-level pool cage, all the fancy schmancy stuff. So huge income differences in the area he grew up in. And all those kids got free lunch. So for the ones who are living in the mansion, it'll be easy. For the ones barely affording the 3-2 or rent, it's going to be tough. Especially for people who would currently qualify if they do away with the free lunch. So a couple things. So, today I bought peanut butter and jelly because I've had a hankering for like a week for peanut butter and jelly. Yes, I am such a child sometimes. But they were $1.39 each. And I could have picked up a loaf of bread for $1.39 as well. So for just over $5, I could make sandwiches for 2 kids for the week. If your kid's allergic to peanuts, obviously that's not an option. Or if they're in a peanut-free school, I would see what the options are, because the thing, like lunch meat, super expensive. I wouldn't buy lunch meat because lunch meat is like $10 a pound. I mean, like people are like, oh no, it's only like $5. That's an 8-ounce pack. That's a half pound. So that's expensive. Maybe a cheese sandwich wouldn't be so bad. That's like, I think you get like 10 slices for $2, so that's like 20 cents each at least. $4 a pound, a little more reasonable. Chips, you can buy the bag, and you can either put them in your own container and send your kid to school with it, or you can buy the Ziploc bags, like the sandwich bags, the generics. Right now, they're on sale at Meijer for 40 of them for $1. So those are options. But the big thing I'm going to say is get a lunchbox, a good quality lunchbox, one that's going to last the year. I did see one. Out of all the ones I looked at, the one that was closest I could find was at Target for like $23. It was an ELO, I want to say ELO bento box. I'm going to actually look at it tomorrow when I'm at work, because what I liked about it is the hot thing. It was like a 7.5 ounce hot thing, but the top had like a handle. So I'm going to see if it's easier, because some kids really struggle with that opening, especially with these. So my kid had this in middle school. When he was in grade school, he had a smaller one that came up to like here. It was like Star Wars. He hated Star Wars though. But opening it can be difficult. But having something like this opens up a world of possibilities. I remember when I was a kid, We all had lunchboxes with thermoses. Mine was Rainbow Bright. It was a yellow lunchbox, a yellow plastic lunchbox. Some of you guys had aluminum or tin or whatever. And it had the Rainbow Bright cast on the front, and then it had the yellow thermos. It was a rectangular thermos with like prism with rounded corners, and it had Rainbow Bright and one of the Sprites on there. I think the white Sprite. And then a white lid with the yellow drink thingy that could pull up, and then like a yellow cap. And my mom used to always send soup to school with me. So that's why I had this. I would send soup, mac and cheese, pasta, like spaghetti, noodles, whatever. You could mix like rotini and some marinara and some cheese or some meat crumbles, any number of things. You could put like sloppy joe in there and bread and a bun, and they could make it themselves if they're older. You could put taco meat in there and send some tortillas and cheese. That could be a fun thing. Cheap fruits. Bananas are always cheap. Apples are going to be cheap here pretty soon. You know, so some cheap fruit. But having those things and having the ability to do it. And I mean, this was so easy. I would wake up, boil water either in the microwave or in the tea kettle. I would put the water in, close it up, leave it sit for 10 minutes while I made my coffee, made my kids breakfast. I would heat up the leftovers from the fridge from the night before to the point where they're piping hot. This would have been sitting for 10 minutes, so it would be super warm. I would dump it out, dry the water out with the dish towel thing that we use to dry dishes. Put the food in, close it up, and it was still nice and warm when they had lunch. So it opens up a world of possibilities. You can, make homemade soup, which is pennies a serving. Noodles are cheap. You can add, like I said, the marinara. You could have tacos. You could have refried rice, ramen. There's so many options. And I mean, you could even get like the ramen noodle packs. I mean, is it the most nutritious? No, definitely not. What is it, Marachin or whatever, ramen? Yeah, it's highly processed. It's a package of ramen, but I'm going to tell you, school lunches, not the healthiest. Like, they're chicken nuggets and they're like, oh, but they're made with whole grain breading. The kids always had something like a Pop-Tart or a strudel or something, and it was made with whole wheat flour instead of normal flour. So it was like a Pop-Tart, but instead of normal Pop-Tart, it was made with whole wheat flour. You're still giving the kid a Pop-Tart. You're still giving the kid a pastry. You're still giving the kid a cupcake, essentially, or whatever. So if you have to add in like ramen or something, it's not the end of the world, because in the end, obviously we want to give our kids healthy foods and healthy options. But more important than anything, we need to make sure our kids fed. And times are getting tough. So find the affordable fruit options, find the affordable meat options, find a way to try and make it work. Get the most you can out of the chicken. Don't just give them the chicken leg. Take the meat off of the chicken, and you can use those bones for stock. But yeah, so this is not sponsored. It's not sponsored by Target. I have no affiliate links in the thing at current time. Who knows? Maybe this will be the video that skyrockets me to fame, and I have all of these sponsors. No, I don't think so. But at current time, it is just the random thing that the woman who tells you not to buy anything is telling you to buy, because this is a game changer. I'm so excited. I forgot I had it. Now I have it for my lunch. But anyways, again, my name's Melissa, and this year I'm sharing 365 tips for frugal living. If you want to hear more, please hit like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.